Hello, this is the Jurassic Fencer. I'm sorry that I haven't uploaded in a long time, but I have been busy with work. Anyway, I during the work time have done, I have listened in the background a lot of Jim Sterling recently, and watching some of his classic episodes, mainly about digital homicide and BMC studios and other asset flippers. I am gonna assume that you know what an asset flipper is if you watch this, but for those who don't, an asset flipper is someone who buys a whole asset, stock assets, and puts it in their game unaltered. Unity allows this, for example, Unreal. Most game engines allow this, and companies like Valve allows these kinds of games to be uploaded, and of course that's a problem. But what I wanna talk about is why asset flippers are so angry when you point out that their games are shit. And they really do. They really overreact, and they take such pride in something that they didn't do. They basically took already created pieces of a puzzle and put the puzzle together, and they want full credit for the picture on the puzzle. One reason I believe asset flippers gets angry is because they want to be game developers, but they don't know how to be game developers. I have studied game development with the graphics as a major, and I have been working now as a game developer, and it takes a long time to learn the trade. It takes years. They haven't done the training often, but they want to create a game, but they don't have the tools for it. So they feel the pride to have made a game, I believe, and then when people say that the game is garbage, or that the game isn't credited to them but it's credited to the people who made the assets, that's really, I believe that really gets to them. And another reason is that some asset flippers, I believe, realize that they have made nothing except for patching up, and in some cases they have even stolen the assets itself. And being called out for that may, it's like calling out a thief, and of course the thief is gonna deny that this has been made and that they themselves made the asset. Another reason I believe asset flippers are so angry when they get called out is because, again, they haven't been trained as developers. They haven't been trained to take criticism, and of course that as a creator it is hard to take criticism in something that you have put even out, even if you only put an hour in. It can be tough because you have put in your own time in it, and they don't know how to take that criticism, so they lash out. And they don't realize that by putting the game on platforms like Steam, they are essentially hobbyists competing with professionals. And of course of course they are going to be compared to other professionally made games, and they feel that that is a unfair comparison because they are just one or two guys. But you know, that's the reality. You are now facing the big guys, and you have to compete with them whether you like it or not, because in the end you are asking for people's money. the consumer has the right to choose another game. And they also have the right to tell people that I didn't like this game and I don't think you should buy it. Of course. And reviewers have their rights to say that as well. A final point I want to bring up about a reason why asset flippers might be so angry when you call them out is we have kind of painted up a picture in the public that making games are easy. For example, I remember when Angry Joe called out a game developer for being lazy, for making a game that only lasted, a first-person shooter game that only lasted for 3 hours. That is not lazy. That is not factually lazy. And it's not easy to do. Remember that it takes hundreds of hours to make a game, an FPS that maybe only lasts 3 hours. Then, and of course you can argue that, oh, but those 3 hours weren't worth the $60, and that's a totally fair point. That's for the market to decide if 3 hours are worth $60. But what I don't think you can say is that that is lazy. Because by saying that, we are painting up an already established picture in our head that game development is easy. You just fuck about in your office and then a game plops up. And that we like to portray ourselves like that sometimes as game developers, but that is not true. It's a lot of hours of stress and forced creativity. But since we are painting up the picture that, oh, this is easier than it looks, then the asset flippers get the feeling that this is the low effort we are putting in is okay. That is the standard of the industry, to cut corners on everything and bringing packages that are unaltered, because that's what they do. Often in game development you are actually trying to make the time as efficient as you can, but that's a whole different thing in the industry. You're not actually doing it to be lazy, you're doing it to get more out and meeting the deadlines. I don't know what you guys think about this, but I would love to hear in the comment why you think asset flippers are getting so angry when they are getting called out. And if you would like to leave a comment and a like, or even subscribe to my channel, I will be very grateful, and I hope you have a good night.